Today we're going to be taking a look at a Fasco Decorator. The Fasco Decorator was Fasco's attempt at appealing to the wacky design trends of the 80s and early 90s, i.e. bright colors, red, Pepto pink, baby blue, etc., etc. This model was introduced in 1985 along with all of Fasco's other 5-blade drop flywheel models, and was discontinued in 1992, I want to say. The model was offered in 7 different finishes throughout its run. These finishes included white, black, chrome, rose, peach, blue, and gray. This one is obviously in gray. And this is the third Fasco Decorator that I have gotten into my possession. Those who watch my channel regularly may remember the first two were peach and white respectively. And the fan still has its original gray tassel, which is rather neat. Every Fasco Decorator, when it was sold new, would come with a tassel that matched its color. The fan has rounded blade ends, the only drop flywheel Fasco model to have this. This one dates to 1986, and as such it has the unique characteristics of a 1986 Fasco, where it has the Gen 2 style blade badges, and the generic canopy with standard ball socket mounting system. 1986 was the first year that Fasco started doing the standard ball socket mounting system. However, it wasn't until '87 that they adopted their signature canopy style. In '86 they used those generic looking ones. As such, this does bring to light something I brought up in the video of my white Fasco Decorator. That fan is also from 1986, and I believe I pointed out that the canopy may not be original, but now I know that it in fact is. This ceiling fan came to me from John Connolly at Fanimation this most recent summer of 2022. And when he got it, the set screw that goes around the shaft, the screw hole for that was a little bit cracked open, meaning that the set screw couldn't grip the shaft as well as it should, which meant that when the fan ran on faster speeds, it would rattle around quite a bit. He has also made a video of this fan where that can be heard. So, as a result of this, when I got this fan, it did need a new flywheel. So the flywheel in this fan is a rubber one, however it is a new old stock rubber one, so hopefully it holds out fairly well. I will be keeping a close eye on it to make sure it doesn't harden up at any point, because you never know with these flywheels, they're quite prone to failing. Also, when I got this fan, it originally came with a very long down rod, I want to say between 3 and 4 feet. So what I did was I took a generic either antique brass or polished brass down rod, and I painted it with gray spray paint and then put a semi-gloss lacquer over top of it, and turned out really well, as you can barely spot the difference. Blends in nigh perfect. Anyway, so now we'll go ahead and ignite power, starting on low speed. This is only the second gray Fasco Decorator to surface into fan collector hands as far as I'm aware. The first one is a later gray one with the bulgier Gen 3 style blade badges and the signature Fasco canopy that is in the ownership of Colsameco. A few other gray decorators have been cited over the years, however, unfortunately it wasn't until Connolly found this one that I believe a second one actually circulated into the community. Funny enough, right around the same time that John Connolly found this fan, I saw a gray decorator that was basically identical to this one for sale on Marketplace in Florida. If I'm remembering right, it had the Gen 2 style blade badges with a super long down rod and the generic canopy. And I remember seeing if I could somehow get it, but it didn't work out. And then about a week later, Connolly posts that he found a gray decorator. So for the longest time, I thought that they were the same fan, but apparently they were not, so I wonder what happened to that one. Considering that most of the Florida collectors are Casablanca exclusive fanatics, I imagine it just ended up in the hands of some non-collector. One thing really nice about this fan is that it is silent. It is absolutely silent. No noise at all. If you were to walk into this room, you would not even know the fan was on, save for the blowing around of air. Okay, now we'll go up to medium. Oddly enough, this is not the only Fasco model that was offered in a variety of colors. There was also the Fasco Gulf Sunrise, which is more of a generic builder-looking fan, which was offered in even more finishes. Like, I believe there was a tan and perhaps a red offered for that one, on top of all the colors the decorator was offered in. The decorator is most definitely the least common drop flywheel Fasco model that you see. These do not pop up very often at all, and at least 50% of the time when they do, it's a white one. So whenever one of the more elusive colors pops up, it is always nice to see. In my experience, white is definitely the most common finish. About 10 to 15 have been found in that finish at least. Next most common is probably chrome. I believe 4 of those have been found, maybe 5. Next would probably be peach. I believe 3 have been found in that finish. Then gray with 2. Then black with just 1. And then at the bottom, tied for least common, would be rose and blue. As far as I'm aware, 0 of those exist in collector hands in current day. I have seen photos of each, as there is a vintage ceiling fan archive page on Instagram that has a photo of a rose Fasco decorator that was allegedly taken from a Craigslist post from years ago. And seen a photo of a blue Fasco decorator as allegedly came from a real estate listing from a house somewhere in Maryland. Anyways, now we'll take it up to high. This fan is quite the speed demon, as are most Fascos on their higher speeds. And once again, absolutely no noise aside from the sound of wind being blown around. Fan is also very well balanced, as there's no wobble, or at least very minimal wobble. And there you go. A Fasco Decorator in gray.